for the person who robbed a Marian church. Plus, a mother, grandmother, and 2 children were killed in St. Charles, Missouri last night. But first, a domestic dispute leads to a deadly stabbing. Good evening. A Karnak woman is in jail tonight after being accused of killing and stabbing a man during a domestic dispute. Illinois State Police arrested 31-year-old Christy Brown for involuntary manslaughter and aggravated domestic battery. Last night, Pulaski County deputies responded to the dispute in Karnak, where they found 33-year-old Duriel King, who had been stabbed. King later died due to the injuries. Further investigation revealed that King had been stabbed by Brown during the domestic dispute. Brown's bail has not yet been set. Now to Missouri, where St. Charles police have a suspect in custody after the overnight murder of 4 people. Police were called to the scene of a shooting, and when they arrived, an officer was involved in gun battle with Richard Emery. Authorities say Emery killed his girlfriend, her 2 children, and her mother. Workers at a gas station called police when a man covered in blood went into the bathroom. At this point, police have 15 counts against Emery, including 4 counts of first-degree murder and armed criminal action.
He's been taken into custody and was taken to the hospital for injuries he sustained at some point as he was fleeing from the police.
Police say Emery also attempted to carjack a woman and stabbed her in the process. That woman's injuries are not life-threatening. Marion police are investigating a theft at Paul's Chapel Baptist Church that occurred early Friday morning. During the break-in, thieves stole thousands of dollars of electronics. The pastor tells News 3's Andrew Feather why he's already forgiven the robbers.
Virgil Walton
says the insurance will cover the stolen items, but the important thing is no one was hurt during the break-in. Now let's get our first look at weather with JC. Thank you, JC. In Jackson County, a Carbondale business celebrated their 30th year in the community. Southern Recycling Center repurposes nearly 20,000 tons of waste each year, including paper, plastic, and aluminum cans. When the business started, they had just 1 person working 6 hours a week. Now they have 36 people working, most of them full-time, and they average more than 1,000 hours per week. They moved to their new location on West Chestnut Street 17 years ago.
When we started it, we realized that was something that needed to be done. No one was doing it. However, we didn't know what we're getting into. So we got in it. As it went in, we made mistakes, we paid the price, we learned, and here we are today.
The owner also says support from neighbors has always been positive and that they have seen the younger generation recycling more the past few years. An anonymous donor is matching every donation made at the St. Francis Animal Shelter until the new year. So if you're new to donating and want to get a head start on your New Year's resolution, it's a place to start. The donor will match every penny up to $20,000. Employees and volunteers say they're extremely thankful for the donations that they received so far.
Donations are critical, to the work that we do here at the shelter. All of the donations that we receive go directly back into the care of our pets here. So food and shelter, veterinary care for injured animals. So any donations that we receive are critical to the work that we do.
Those wishing to help out can donate in person or online. A new report from the State Journal Register shows Illinois produced the most soybeans of any state in the country this year. The state also ranks second in corn production. Now farmers hope those record-yielding harvests will ease tensions between the U.S. and its trade partners. Illinois farmers have been significantly affected by President Trump's tougher stance on trade and retaliatory tariffs from China, Canada, Mexico, and the European Union. Last year, China accounted for 1/4 of Illinois' agricultural exports. With China not buying this year, many farmers had to store excess crops for winter and hope the tariff situation is resolved. The EPA has proposed to roll back the mercury and air toxics standards. It's an Obama-era regulation that helped reduce toxic mercury pollution from coal-fired power plants. The president said benefits to human health may not be worth the cost of the regulation. U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth issued a statement in response today saying, quote, "Mercury is a toxin that causes learning disabilities, loss of IQ, asthma attacks, heart attacks, and premature deaths. In America, coal power plants are the largest single man-made source of mercury pollutants. Well, still to come on News 3, a California community mourns the death of a police officer killed during a traffic stop. Plus, new surveillance footage shows Nicholas Cruz just moments before the Parkland school shooting. Those stories and more when we come back. Members of a California community came together last night to remember Ronil Singh, the police officer gunned down during a traffic stop. A total of 8 people have been arrested in connection with the crime. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the latest.
This accused cop killer now behind bars. ABC News, Los Angeles.
To more stories making news now. New video out of Florida shows the chilling moments before the Parkland school shooting. 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz can be seen here loading his AR-15 in the hallway of Stoneman Douglas High School as a frightened freshman walks past. Cruz reportedly told him to leave before things got, quote, messy. The surveillance videos are from a report by the Florida State Commission, which hopes to shed light on a number of mistakes made by officials. Doors and gates were left open, allowing Cruz to get inside undetected. And a campus security monitor failed to call a code red after seeing Cruz carrying a rifle bag. An Oregon hotel has apologized to a man for kicking him out even though he was a paid guest. But Jermaine Massey says sorry isn't enough. He's filing a lawsuit alleging racial discrimination. Massey posted videos on Instagram of a security guard at the hotel ordering him to leave. The hotel called police saying Massey refused to show them a room key or proof he was staying there. Massey's lawyer says that isn't true.
Why was this guy approached in a hotel lobby when he's doing nothing more than talking to his mother on the phone? Why was he interrogated? Why was he ordered to leave on pain of going to jail?
According to the hotel, the employees involved in the incident have been terminated. DoubleTree Portland also issued a statement saying, quote, our hotel is a place of hospitality and their actions were inconsistent with our standards and values. Now to more stories making headlines in the world. Yellow Vest protesters continued marching again today, this time on the headquarters of leading French broadcasters. Some members of the movement accuse leading media of favoring President Emmanuel Macron's government and minimizing demonstrations. But others say they've been the leading news story in France since they kicked off their protests last month. Both police and protesters appear to be out in much smaller numbers than on previous weekends. More demonstrations are expected on New Year's Eve when Paris puts on a light show that typically attracts large crowds. In Indonesia, more than 30 endangered turtles have been rescued following last week's deadly tsunami. This video, posted by Indonesia's Search and Rescue Agency, shows men carrying sea turtles along a shore littered with debris and releasing them into the ocean. An undersea landslide led to waves of up to 16 feet hitting coasts between Indonesia's Java and Sumatra Islands. More than 400 people were killed. Next on News 3, we managed to avoid rain this weekend, but JC says we won't be so lucky next week. She has your full forecast coming up right after the break.
So at this point, that's kind of on the fence there. We've got some disagreement in the models, but we'll keep you updated on it.
Well, I like the sound of sunshine tomorrow morning before the rain next week.
Oh yes, very nice.
Thank you, JC. It's Championship Saturday for area high school basketball holiday tournaments. Sean has highlights from 4 title matches up next in sports. Well, the championship's always an exciting time. Thank you, Sean. We'll have an update on weather when we come back.
And then heavy rain sticking with us Sunday night into Monday, so umbrellas going to be needed here soon.
All right. Well, the weekend edition of News 3 this morning comes your way tomorrow morning at 6, and we'll see you back here tomorrow night at 5 and 10. Have a great weekend.